It's early in the morning and I'm already up causing trouble and choosing violence. Everybody's like, we need to stop talking about Simone Biles' relationship. She's happy. Whatever. I don't give a fuck. I talk about what I want. Anyway, so I wanted to say this. Everybody's like, well, she's happy, so why should it bother us? I don't care. This, that, and the other. I'm going to mind my business. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And I'm using this as a teaching moment because I'm fully aware that when I talk about certain relationships that people are going to do what they want to do. I'm not stupid. I'm 41. I wasn't born yesterday, and I've also lived this. When I was with my abusive ex-husband, okay, he would constantly say and do the most disrespectful, rude ass shit to me. And in my situation, there wasn't a podcast. I wasn't famous, nor was he. But I did have a best friend at the time that I would constantly tell her the things that he would say and do to me. And there was one time where she got fed up with the bullshit and she said, you know what, your husband is an asshole. I got so mad at her. And I remember saying, don't talk about my husband like that. We were on the phone and she got really quiet. And she said, you know what? You're right. And nothing was the same in our friendship ever again. As a matter of fact, that was pretty much the beginning of the end of our friendship, because she knew, wow, she's too far gone. And I'm going to let her have this, but I'm going to set a boundary. And I'm not going to stress myself out anymore. Meanwhile, I was miserable. And now, not only was I miserable, but I didn't have a friend to call and vent to. And that friend's subtle harshness kind of woke me up. Because every time he would say or do something just rude and horrible to me, I didn't have anybody to rush and call, So I was constantly reminded of, wow, it's really just me now. I remember at times feeling stupid that, wow, I chose to continue to defend this man, and now I don't have my friend anymore. So that's why I'm a little annoyed. Side note, when women are like, you gotta give your friends grace, you gotta let them vent, you gotta be there for them as many times as they need. Nope. That helps nothing. Ultimately, that actually continues to enable the abuse and disrespect that they're experiencing because they're not ready to do anything about it. They're going to keep defending it. So basically, all you're doing is watching a train wreck happen. And after a while, it would just start to stress you out. Now, I say all that to say this. I am thankful that my friend at least said something. So people are like, well, I just stay silent. I just mind my own business. No. Anytime I've been in a toxic relationship, I've lived an interesting life. The friends, and I put that in quotation marks, who got on my nerves the most were the ones who were like, man, I knew something was wrong, but I just didn't say nothing. What? And the excuse might be, well, I don't say anything because you just get mad at me. Let me tell you something about me and what type of friend that I am. I love you, so I'm going to say something one time. And depending on your reaction, I'm going to back off. But I would rather you get mad at me for saying something than to just sit there and make it seem like I'm okay with whatever it is that you're going through. I would rather you end that friendship with me and never talk to me again than to just sit idly by and have you assume that I am okay with you being treated like shit. One of my mutuals talked about this on her page yesterday. If you see something, you say something, and that is love. And people are like, we gotta give grace, we gotta understand, we gotta, you know what? I'm gonna say fuck all that shit. Because if it wasn't for the women in my life at the time who said something, I would continue to be in my delusion and never be any wiser. I would think all this shit was okay, and then at the end of the week I can just call them and we're gonna sit on the phone for 2 hours and vent about this shit. So I think, in my humble opinion now, it's how you say things for sure. You're not just cussing your friends out and being a jerk to them. But I don't think I can love you and be a good friend to you and never say anything about my concerns if I notice that you're being treated like shit. Even if you get mad at me, even if you choose to never speak to me again, that is totally fine with me. But loving you as your friend, as your sister, means I'm going to speak up and I'm going to say something because I love you and I don't want to see you hurt. And the last thing that I ever want to do is to make you think that I am okay with it.